I just had it open there, so I almost ruined the surprise. Hopefully I got it closed before the live started. But thank you all for joining in. And no one's on just yet, but thank you for watching on the restream. We're just gonna get right into it, and we'll start off by telling a story, and we'll go ahead and go through it. So I did some help for one of my mom's friends, and and they had some old fishing stuff they no longer wanted, and I even have their old, fishing licenses over here. I'm not gonna show all their details on it, but these licenses were expire in 1985, or they're issued in 1985, and they're good for a year. So at that time, everything in here is probably from 85 or earlier. Maybe some things are later than that, but most things are from probably 85 or earlier, which is pretty cool. So let's get right into it. This is a Thinwick 1050. This is a cool little vintage tackle box. Let's latch it up over here. Nice Eagle logo. And also, this is an interesting time also. We may redo this later today, depending on how many views we get on the live here, but at least we have a nice practice run. All right, so that's the tackle box over there. Pretty nice. Hard orange plastic. Pretty durable. It's not even scratched on the bottom too much. All right, let's pop it open. Let's see if let's go back a tiny bit. And so let's open the lid. It's a triple or double layer with a box on the bottom. Look at that, guys. Really interesting. Has everything in there. I think I only threw one thing out in there that was like extremely toxic. I actually think it kept it. This is the thing I was thinking about throwing out, this bug repellent over here. I think it's pretty toxic, and the outside has a residue. So let's go through the bottom over here. So these are all hooks over there. These are some spinners. I can't remember, like rooster tails type of thing. You can see it's a really nice rooster tail with real fur. And some heavy beads on that. And here's two other ones too that are also pretty heavy. Those are really nice. Those are like, you can't even buy anything like this anymore. That's actually like quality. Hey, Paul, am I back now? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me, yes or no? Let me know if you can. Just been talking for a while. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate it. Yes, you can see it perfect. Okay, so we just went through some of these spoons. We can go back through them later. But again, let me know if anyone has any questions. Please do. Sorry about the audio issue. All right, so this is another spoon over here. What I was talking about before, I haven't really seen this before, is there's a weed guard on this. Let me get this background there. You can see there's a weed guard on the treble hook. I've never seen a weed guard on a treble hook before. So that's really cool. All right. Any questions so far, guys? Let me know. So that's a pretty cool spoon. So we just went through a whole bunch of spoons. You can also see this is the plastic that deteriorated from the tackle box. I'm taking everything out of here. So that's done. But I don't know what deteriorated that. Probably something else on the box. And this is the last spoon of that box right here. Nice iridescent pattern. Another Daredevil one with a weed guard. Cool. All right, so what else is in here? This is a stringer, a clipped stringer, not like a regular stringer. So this is unclip, put a couple fish on there, clip it up, and then you got one batch and then another batch, you know, so on and so on. And then you clip this to your belt, and then as you're wading through the river. So that's a catch link belt, whatever, a stringer. There is some first aid cream from Johnson & Johnson, a family company. What we can see here, when was this made? Oh, it's SC Johnson, actually, a family company. Might be the same company. No year on this or when it expired. It says 2058 on the top over there. Wonder if it expires in 2058. That'd be pretty interesting. All right. Next thing is this, the bug repellent, the 6.12. Anyone know about this? I have no idea. We got another actual stringer. A cork. Dom Perignon. Champagne 1979. So that's they probably opened this champagne. It was probably a good vintage there at the time, like maybe a couple years old. Not too old, but because this is from 1985, and this champagne is from, what was it again? 1979. So that was just, a few years prior, so not too old of the champagne if they were drinking it on their fishing trip out here. Let's see here. This is a nice compass. You can see I can't tilt it up to show you guys and have it tilt north, but it actually is going pretty north. And it actually has a lock over there. That's awesome. It's a locking compass, so when you are on the ocean, you lock it up and it won't ruin the compass dial. Unlock it and it's all loose. You lock it up, close it up, and you can travel with it. That's really cool. That's a nice compass. Here's some classic soft plastics. I kind of don't want to touch them with my bare hands. So there's some rubber plastic worms, some classic bobbers. I wouldn't use these. And I want to wipe this out too, now that we've got this empty. Here's some swivels and clamps. And then the last thing is a nice knife. An Explorer knife is like a knockoff case knife. 440 stainless steel, made in Japan. Look at that. Blade made in Japan. That's very cool. And I want to wipe this off too. It's getting pretty dirty. Let me get a paper towel I'll be right back, guys. All right, got a paper towel and some ISO. Let's wipe the knife off first. What do you guys think of the knife? Pretty cool, right? It's like a case knife. Made in Japan. Explorer 11-30G, it looks like. Or 36, 38 maybe, I can't read that. 440 stainless steel, Japan. So that's really cool. All right, let's close that back up. Let's keep going through. Let's go through the rest of them because I got to get to work too. I know you guys are probably getting ready, heading for work. So that's why I thought maybe it's a good time to stream right now. I was up pretty early and I got this out, straightening some things up. And I was like, oh, I need to go through this and clean it up and see if I can use anything or not. All right. And I'm getting my drop cloth all dirty too, so. All right. Cool. All right, so let's continue on. So we got the whole bottom here clear. So we can put that. We can put a couple things in here actually. This we actually need to clear out. Just shaking these clear of all the dust on them. I don't know how I'm gonna dump this out of here. Easily, at least. I got an idea. Hold on, guys. Inverted that and then it all fell out. Perfect. So we got that all cleared up. Let's put those over there and I can put these spoons over in here now. All right, so we got all those lures back in here. And we eliminated one box that was deteriorating. We have our lead weights we're gonna put back in here. Our scale. Those rubber worms. I'm probably not gonna use those. The stringers. Put that up front. The bobbers. Compass, the really cool compass. Again, this compass here, for those that are joining in new, this has a lock on it. So you can see right now, compass doesn't move at all locked up. It can move, shake, anything like that. Unlock it, and look at that. Now it's a working compass. Very cool. All right, so let's put that compass back in there. We have some swivels. And then this stuff right here, I don't know if I really want to put it back into the tackle box. This is all just like perishable stuff, along with like these old Band-Aids over here. Like, it's cool, like they're old, vintage, goes with the stuff, but I don't know if I want to keep it. What do you guys think? Should I keep this stuff or not? Yes or no? Should I keep the first aid stuff? Should I keep it separate, keep it in here, or should I just throw it away? What do you guys think? Let me know. I'm going to put it off to the side for right now. And we also have the cork. I'm going to leave the cork in there. I could use that fishing. All right, because I'm definitely not putting this on my skin to repel any bugs. Okay, let's go through the rest of this stuff. So here we got some little nymph-like jig heads over here. We got this little torpedo. This is really cool. Look at that. Look at that torpedo. That's really nice. It's all, you know, hand-painted wood. Very nice lure. I don't think there's a name on this one. Got a whole bunch of spoons over here. I'm not going to undo this just for the sake of time. Some really nice spoons, some nice colors and flashes. So another spoon with some dimples. Another spoon. This is the Castmaster over here. That's very nice. And I'm getting some hooks in my hands now. Ooh, that's not going to be a good idea. Let's do it that way. Do it that way. We got two more spoons. Actually, oh, I saw this one when I first opened the box. It caught my eye. Oh, man, I'm going to get hooked. Oh, jeez. Okay. Trash it, yeah. I'm thinking it. So look at this right here. This is one of my favorite spoons. Look at that. A spoon with extra little spoons on it. You can go and then flutter down. I would hate to lose this and get the snag somewhere. That's why I wanted to really use any of these things. Let me know down in the comments if I should use any of them, if I should use all of them, or if I just try, you know, one out per video. It'll be a rather long extended series of using vintage lures to try and catch a bass. So you think I should do a long series? This is another awesome one with the triple. Very nice. So some nice spoons and, you know, casting jigs over here. See if I can get this off of this fabric right now. All right, so we went through all those spoons. Let's go over here. We got this is the classic one. This is a hula popper. This is the classic one. It's missing a few of the little rubber frond things in the back over here. But this is the classic hula popper. Very nice lure. This next one over here, this is like a modern day spinner, but this is like a different kind. So this, I guess, goes in the front or underneath. I guess this goes underneath. And these are the weed guards. This is a pretty odd lure. How do you suppose this fishes? Do I tie it? Oh, I think I tie it on here. Never mind. I think I tie it right there, and now that's how it goes. Yeah, so I tie it like that, and it spins around, and then it goes like that. So that's interesting. Here's another one in black. Cool. Are these bent? Or they're bent forward? I don't know. Okay, hula poppers away. Here are two deep diving lipped swim baits. Let me know if anyone has any questions. I'm just going to untangle these. So let's take a look at this swim bait. Nice shad type design, big lip, so deep diving. Treble hooks, and they even did some brass or copper, probably brass rings, split rings, so it kind of matches with the brown instead of silver. So that's a nice attention to detail. And this one as well, they did even more brass. This is even more color matched to the actual fish. Very nice. You don't see lures like this anymore. And this is actually a lure that you do see very similar to the way it is right now, and that's a classic Rapala. And this is, yeah, this is a classic Rapala lure. Yep. That is a classic Rapala swim bait. A Rapala. Is it Rapala or Rapala? That's the real question. Rapala or Rapala? Because I've heard on the commercials when I was growing up, Rapala lures, not Rapala. Rapala lures? What do you guys think? Okay. Here's another Rapala lure. Its eyes are a little cross-eyed. Look how cross-eyed this fish is. Look at him. I gotta look at it like that. That's cross-eyed right there. This one cross-eyed? Yeah, this one's also cross-eyed. Huh. Very similarly. Maybe that's how they're fit in the jig or something. It's a little off. But those are pretty similar. One's a little bit gold and one's silver. So let's get these together. And we have this other little rooster tail. Let's put that on that side. Two more Rapalas in blue. These are a little bit longer. This one's actually the same size as that other one in blue. And this one's a triple treble hook. I definitely don't like a triple treble hook like this. There's way too many hooks on this. I honestly just like a tail hook on a lot of my swim baits. So they normally do a tail strike anyway, and they get it. And when they bite on the body, when you're, swimming it, you're pulling it. And of course, the treble hook is going to hit it in the mouth, most likely on the rear. You really don't need any hooks on the bottom from what I've really noticed, and what I've also heard from a lot of other people. So you can go with that as you will. Same thing with like this one, doesn't need all the hooks on it. And yeah, probably remove that hook and even that hook and just have that rear trailing hook. Yeah, I have two of these spinner guys, which are cool. And then we're going to be on the top one over here. These are some bigger Rapalas. Actually, I think this is a knockoff one. This isn't a Rapala. This is a Rapala right here. This is like a perch color or a peacock bass mimic. That one's cross-eyed too. I guess they're all cross-eyed. I'm going to look that up if all of the Rapala lures are cross-eyed back in the day. This one's not a Rapala. This one's an off-brand Bagley Bango lure. Very, very similar. You can clearly see the difference in build quality. I think this one's a little bit brighter though. Might be better. All right. Now on to the top layer. So we can close this up. And what time is it? 6:30 so my time, so I got to get going soon. So here we have a nice topwater frog. What is this called? The jitterbug. You guys can take a look at the reference and everything on that if you want. It's like almost like a frog looking type topwater. This little puck. Oh, I think this is for the timer humidity sensor thing. Worm with a hook. I don't need to pull that out. Here's another hula popper without the hula part. Hula popper without the hula part. You can see all of that disintegrated, the popping part. This is another popper. What is this one called? The Head-On Tiny Lucky 13. It's like a little tiny scoop topwater popper, and it has these glitter chips on it that are like texturized, so it kind of, I guess, will make some swishing in the water. Interesting. All right. Actually, I should put this up here. Here are the worms, because I don't think I'm gonna take them out of there anymore. These are the oh, here, we haven't gone through these ones. So this is another jitterbug, a mini jitterbug. Actually, I really want to try using this one day. This one seems like it would be a really good topwater lure, but I'm concerned about the strength of it. Make sure all these screws are nice and tight. And maybe we can use one of these to catch a snook or something. If you have popped, what is a good thing to use for in the morning? I don't understand that comment, but thank you. It's a very interesting comment. Okay. Anyway, so here's the jitterbug. Very nice. Next one, this is another popper, very similar to this one over here. You can see it has a similar lip and eye. And this one is called the Head-On Baby Lucky 13. This is the Tiny Lucky. So this is the Baby Lucky, this is the Tiny Lucky. So that means there is probably maybe a Mommy Lucky and a Daddy Lucky, maybe. There we go. These are like the fishing hooks that you saw on like SpongeBob, on like the fishing episode, on the hooks one, where SpongeBob or Patrick sits on one of these. Hold on, let me get this out of here. There we go. This is like one of those ones that looks like where they have it like this, and he sits on it and it goes swoosh. Yeah, no, this is a pretty cool, this is like a swim bait, basically. So you pull it, it's a swim bait, doesn't even look like a fish. But this is called the X4. X4, I don't see any other branding on it. Next one over here, this one's pretty interesting, has this rear trailing treble hook, but it has a double like wishbone treble hook in the front over here. Again, I probably wouldn't want to have all these little treble hooks flopping around. But again, this is also a X4, and it's a swim bait type deal. Here's another one that's similar to the X4. This is called the Head-On Tad Pulley. So that's pretty interesting. So that is like almost like a crawfish almost swimming on the bottom. And you can see it kind of has like a tail also with a big treble hook there and a big treble hook on the front too. So that's a pretty interesting lure. Very distinctive. You wouldn't think a fish would bite this, but you know, who knows? We'll try it out. And we're getting to the tail end of all this stuff, and then we got to wrap up, and I got to go to work. So next stuff over here. Hopefully I can do this full time for you guys, you know, very soon. But this is actually really nice. I like the face of this guy. Look at that. So this right here, he has some ribs on it. This is called the Hayden Tiny Runty? No, just a tiny runt. Yeah, I guess a good name for it. Little swim bait. This seems like another good lure to try out. This seems like it's solid metal. This has a metal lip, and that looks like a sheet metal housing, or maybe just plated very thick. Very interesting. This is called the Hayden Devil Diver. The Hayden Devil Diver. Interesting. I think it would go pretty well. And we have 2 more lures. So we got another one of those Hayden River Runt Spook sinker. So that is a weighted one. So it's a sinker and a spook. So this is like a spook type. So this would be good for some peacock bass or some bed fishing. That would be pretty nice there. And then last lure we have for the whole box, and I have one more little thing in here. And the last lure is this one, another Hayden. This is the Midget Digit. That's a great name. So that's funny. So this is, it's definitely not a very mainstream name that you can probably use nowadays for fishing lure that's to sell on a shelf. But that's what it is. Anyway, so that is very similar to this guy over here, like the runt. Except this one's like more of a little bit bigger. This is a runt. And then I guess I was wrong with the mommy and daddy. I guess they called it the midget, not the mommy. All right, so we've gone through all of our lures over here. We didn't go through these. Let's go through these last little guys over here. These are the soft plastic worms. Pretty, you know, non-interesting little jig head. Tail. Another jig head. Another worm. This looks like some reel oil. Yeah, there's some reel oil lubricant with a precision tip. That's actually pretty nice. Probably still good. It's just oil. And yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you all for joining in. And thank you all for subscribing. If you all can leave a like before we end out the stream, and if you can subscribe, that'd be awesome. Thank you all for joining in. We'll go fishing with these one day. Maybe not all of them in one day, of course. Well, you know, we don't have time to retie it all the time. And I also don't want to lose any of these, so we have to find some good locations where I know there's some, you know, bass biting, and I'm not just casting aimlessly for hours, even though that's part of fishing sometimes, but I don't want to risk these guys. All right. And we'll leave you off with this knife. Again, this is one of the better things of the box, made in Japan. And I think I'm just going to keep this stuff. I know you guys said trash it, but I'm just going to keep it in there for right now since I've got it a little bit more organized. And I can just throw that out whenever. And the last thing was this thing here. I think this was a clock. And I just need to get the battery out of here. It could be a timer or a counter, I'm not sure. Actually need to get a new battery on there. But yeah, thank you guys for joining in. Oh, let's see if anything's UV. I have a UV light on me. Let's see here. UV. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that right there. That's very UV. That's very UV up there. Let's go up here. That's very UV right there. That's of course very UV. Look how bright that is. Wow. That has like a UV coating on it. So yeah, very nice. They knew about the UV coatings. Look at this one. It's very bright too. Look at that, how bright it lights up. All right, cool guys. So thank you all for exploring these 1985 lures with me. I have their original fishing license that they, had over here. I'm not gonna let you guys get all their info on here, but yeah, no, 1985 was when it issued, and yeah, this was in Highland Park. Yeah, Highland Park. Interesting. And I guess they were fishing for brown trout. Oh, and I guess they were fishing in Illinois. They weren't fishing in Florida. This is all Illinois fishing stuff. So we can see, this is their fishing stamp. You can see from Illinois. It's a salmon or a trout, brown trout certification. Very cool. All right, guys. Hope you all have a good one. Everyone, leave a like if you can. We only got 3 likes. Just for fun fishing. Thank you for joining in. We're exiting out, but we went through some really cool, fishing lures over here. Thank you all for joining in. Hope you all have a good one. Bye for now.